Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going deep on the Silva Method.
Okay.
Have you heard of this? It's a self-help program, and it claims to unlock
Mm.
some pretty incredible mind-over-matter potential,
Yeah.
for health and well-being and all that.
Right.
We're using Jew the Healer by Jose Silva and Robert B. Stone as our source material.
Okay.
And this book, it acts as a guide to the method. But what's really got me hooked are
Yeah.
the stories. I mean, they're packed in here. People seemingly doing the impossible,
Mm.
recovering from serious illnesses,
Oh, wow.
controlling pain with their minds, even influencing others remotely.
It's pretty wild stuff.
It is. So let's get right to it. What exactly is this Silva Method, and what's the big promise?
Well, at its core, the Silva Method really zeroes in on the brain's power to influence the body. It claims that we can train our minds, through specific techniques
Oh,
to
like that.
enter a state of consciousness they call the alpha level.
Alpha level.
Yeah, think of it as like a deeply relaxed mental state, almost like a meditative state. And that's where you can supposedly tap into your brain's full potential.
To impact your physical well-being.
Exactly. So it goes beyond just thinking positive thoughts. It's about reaching a different brainwave state altogether.
Interesting. So I'm seeing here they even mention biofeedback devices to confirm you're actually in this alpha level.
Right. That's the thing. It's about training the mind, much like you would train your body.
Huh. Like going to the gym for your brain.
Exactly. And the book lays out techniques, things like countdown exercises and visualization to help you reach that state.
Okay. Countdown exercises, visualization. Got it.
And then they just flood you with examples, people using these techniques to heal from all sorts of ailments.
Okay, let's get to those examples. There's one that really grabbed my attention. NL, an architect.
Right.
He had arthritis in his fingers, which was obviously making his work super difficult. But he used visualization and saw a significant reduction in his symptoms within weeks. Is that a common thread in the book?
Oh, absolutely. The book is jam-packed with similar stories. You've got RS with angina pectoris.
Oh, wow.
Visualizing his arteries clearing and experiencing complete relief from chest pains within 2 months.
Yeah.
Then you have MW, who used visualization to find relief from menstrual distress. So yeah, the authors,
Wow.
they really drive home this idea of the mind's power to directly impact physical health.
It's like reading a collection of medical miracles. But it does make you wonder, is there any scientific backing for this?
Right.
Or is it purely the power of belief?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The book presents all these anecdotes as proof.
Right.
But the scientific community, they take a more nuanced view. Some researchers suggest the placebo effect could be a big factor.
A placebo effect, right?
Meaning the belief itself can trigger the body's own healing mechanisms.
So while we can't dismiss the power of belief, we also need to be a bit skeptical.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not about dismissing the stories altogether, but about understanding the mind-body connection.
Yeah, a complex interplay for sure.
Absolutely. The mind-body connection is a fascinating area of research.
It is.
And while science might not fully grasp how visualization works, there's growing evidence
Right.
that our thoughts and beliefs can actually influence our physical well-being.
So this brings us back to the core of the Silva Method, training the mind to achieve that alpha level.
Yes.
The book highlights a tennis player, injured elbow, visualizes it as perfect, back on the court, pain-free.
It's pretty remarkable.
Remarkable is right, even if we factor in that potential placebo effect.
Exactly. And they go even deeper with this guy, Tag Powell, facing a pretty radical knee surgery.
Oh, no.
Severe inflammation. And the doctor even said, maybe it will take, which,
Not very reassuring.
not at all. So Tag, he decides to give the Silva Method a shot.
Okay.
He visualizes white blood cells attacking the inflammation in his knee, puts him on white horses, an army fighting it off.
Like a mental movie.
Exactly. And get this, his knee starts to heal. He even plays volleyball, first time in years.
Wow.
Only soreness afterward. Muscle soreness, that is.
That's amazing. So visualization's a key technique here. But they also talk about something called subjective communication.
Yes.
Sounds like something straight out of Star Trek. What is that?
So subjective communication, as they call it, involves using the alpha level
Okay.
to have these imaginary conversations with others. It's like a mental dialogue.
Hold on. They're saying you can mentally talk to someone
Right.
and potentially change their behavior.
That's the claim. They tie it to this idea that we're all connected on a deeper level, subconsciously. The book even gives examples of this being used to help someone break a bad habit or influence decision-making.
That's a pretty big claim. Before we go down that road, let's rewind to this alpha level.
Sure.
How do you actually achieve it? And are there benefits beyond just healing?
The healer really emphasizes relaxation and focused attention. They describe the countdown exercise,
Okay.
where you mentally count from 100 to 1, and visualization,
Incredible.
creating vivid mental images. They say these techniques can help with stress reduction, better sleep, enhanced creativity, even boosting intuition.
Wow, so it's like a mental toolkit.
Exactly.
But they also talk about stress being a root cause of a lot of health problems, don't they?
Absolutely. They're very clear. Stress is a major contributor to illness. And, thinking about our own lives, stress from work, relationships, even just daily worries.
It all adds up.
It does, and it can affect our health.
They even link our mental state to our eating habits.
Yes. They say negativity can lead to unhealthy cravings.
Really?
They say a positive mindset and self-control through techniques like reaching the alpha level can lead to healthier choices.
Interesting. So we've got the power of belief, the dangers of stress,
Right.
now the potential influence on our eating habits. What other mind-blowing concepts are in store for us?
Well, there's this concept of healing at a distance.
Wait, what? Healing someone remotely? How's that even possible?
The book says that by entering the alpha level, you can focus healing energy on someone, regardless of their location. And they have some pretty remarkable examples.
Like what?
Colleen Kenny, she was suffering from Crohn's disease.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's a serious condition, and she apparently experienced significant improvement
Wow.
after a group of Silva graduates focused healing energy on her from afar.
Incredible.
And then there's the story of a newborn baby who hadn't had a bowel movement
Oh, no.
and was at risk of medical intervention. So a Silva graduate visualizes the digestive process working properly,
Okay.
and the baby experiences normal bowel function shortly after.
Wow, that's a lot to process.
Yeah.
Are they saying we can all become healers just by using our minds?
That seems to be the suggestion. But I think before we get ahead of ourselves,
Right.
let's explore these concepts in more detail. It's important to understand the potential limitations
Okay.
and look at it from different perspectives.
Yeah. This is all fascinating, but how does the book back up these claims?
Right.
Let's dig into that in the next part of our deep dive.
Picking up where we left off, the book does acknowledge that there might be some skepticism about these claims.
Yeah, especially that remote healing.
Right. Sounds almost too good to be true. So how do they address it?
Yeah. How do they convince you?
Well, they lean hard on personal stories and testimonials, presenting them as, proof that the method works.
Okay, see? It works.
Exactly. Don't take our word for it. Listen to these amazing stories.
It's definitely a compelling approach. Some of them are hard to just brush off.
Right.
Like that Colleen Kenny, the Crohn's disease case.
Right.
It's pretty remarkable that the Silva graduates focusing healing energy on her from afar seemed to line up with her getting better.
Absolutely. And then you've got the newborn baby, no bowel movement.
Yeah, poor thing.
A Silva graduate visualizes the system working right, and bam, normal function.
It's like, wow, that's incredible. But you have to wonder,
Yeah.
is there more to it than just the method? Could it be other things like
Right.
spontaneous remission, maybe in some cases?
That's a valid point. Anecdotal evidence is powerful, but it doesn't automatically mean cause and effect.
Right.
Could be other factors, medical treatment, the illness running its course naturally.
So it's not a simple answer.
Nope. It's like a puzzle, and we don't always know which piece matters most.
And that's where critical thinking comes in.
Exactly. Different perspectives. Don't jump to conclusions based on just stories.
Weigh the evidence, know the limits, then form your own opinion.
Spot on. The book itself even says that belief is huge E in whether the Silva method works.
Okay.
They flat out say negative attitudes, being skeptical, that can block results.
So you have to believe to achieve.
That's what they're saying. But then what about those who try it, open mind, and still nothing? No big changes like the book says.
What happens then?
That's where it gets tricky. The book doesn't really have clear answers there, but it does give you a framework for the mind-body connection, going beyond typical medicine, saying we have more control over our health than we might think.
So more agency, more power to ourselves.
Yeah, and that keeps coming up throughout the book.
Huh. Interesting.
Not just healing, but using the alpha level for all sorts of personal growth.
Oh, right. They talk about controlling bad habits, managing emotions, even improving intuition and creativity.
It's presented as this toolkit for life. The alpha level's like the key to unlocking it all.
So with all this power in our minds, why aren't more people doing this?
Well, the book's honest. Learning to control the alpha level, that takes practice, dedication.
Not a quick fix.
Nope. It's a commitment, a new way of thinking, of being.
Like learning an instrument. Takes time, effort, but the payoff?
Could be huge.
More peace, well-being, personal power.
The book has millions of followers, so it's speaking to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. But still got to be critical.
Absolutely. Not everything in the book might line up with science or what we believe personally.
Right. It's not about blindly believing every single thing.
It's about exploring, questioning, seeing what works for you.
And that's what makes this deep dive so cool. Not about giving answers, but sparking curiosity.
Making us think, opening our minds to what might be possible.
And speaking of what's possible, the book goes even further,
Oh, yeah.
hinting at using the alpha level for more than just ourselves.
Okay.
They even mention collective consciousness impacting the whole world.
Wow. So, like, as more people tap into this power, it could have a ripple effect.
Exactly.
More peaceful, healthier, more harmonious world.
It's a beautiful idea, but is it really doable?
That's the big question. Can we achieve this Silva vision globally?
They seem to think so.
They do. The book says we're still early in understanding the mind's potential.
Yeah, we've barely scratched the surface.
But even small steps in the right direction can shift things.
That's like the butterfly effect.
Right. Small change, big impact.
So even if not everyone goes full Silva Method,
Those who do could start something bigger.
it's a message of hope. We can create our own reality and maybe even our collective future.
That's the core of the Silva vision, a call to be conscious creators, not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
And this idea of subjective communication, it's a big part of that, isn't it?
Definitely. They say we can use our minds to communicate on a deeper level, going beyond words and distance.
It's like mental telepathy, right? They even say you can use it to influence behavior, help someone quit smoking, even sway someone's decision.
It's a powerful concept. But it does raise some ethical questions.
Oh, absolutely. It's one thing to visualize healing, but messing with someone's free will, that's a whole other can of worms.
For sure. And they give specific examples, like the mother helping her daughter quit smoking.
Right, right.
And it's not just habits. Resolving conflicts, improving relationships, even changing someone's mind on an issue.
It sounds like it could be used to manipulate people.
It could. But the book stresses good intentions, respecting free will.
Okay.
They say it works best when it's for the other person's benefit.
It's a fine line to walk, that's for sure.
It is. And it needs careful thought, ethical awareness.
But on a more positive note, this subjective communication, it opens up this whole discussion about connection and influence beyond what we normally think of.
Yeah, like we have this untapped potential.
To connect with others in ways we haven't even imagined.
And a responsibility to use it wisely. Not for control, but for understanding, support, growth.
That ties in with the book's whole message of empowerment and responsibility.
Right.
It's not about the Silva Method being a magic solution. It's about tapping into what we already have inside.
To be more conscious, deliberate creators of our own life.
And maybe even, like they say, conscious creators of our shared future.
That's the Silva vision, right?
Exactly. A glimpse into what might be if more people embrace this power of the mind.
It's a vision that makes you think about a world transformed by awareness, compassion, and feeling truly connected.
It sounds pretty optimistic.
Mm.
Like everyone's in this constant alpha state, just peace and harmony everywhere.
Right. But are there actual examples of how this would work day to day?
Yeah. How does it actually play out?
Well, let's explore that further in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we're back. Final part of our Silva Method deep dive. We've covered healing, intuition, that whole subjective communication thing.
It's been a lot.
It has. Now let's shift gears a bit. What about this Silva vision, the future, to see if this method catches on?
Yeah, they paint a pretty ambitious picture, don't they? A world transformed, heightened awareness, compassion, interconnectedness.
Sounds like utopia. Everyone just zen, no conflict, just understanding.
It's definitely a rosy picture, but how realistic is it? And how do you actually make that happen? Like real world change.
Good point. They can't just say it'll be better.
Exactly. And they don't. They get specific, like how the Silva method could impact business and decision making.
Okay, so business leaders using Silva techniques, what would that look like?
They talk about bicameral thinking, using both sides of the brain, logic, AD, intuition.
So left brain, right brain working together.
Exactly. They say that leads to better decisions, not just data and numbers, but intuition, understanding people's needs.
So a CEO, big decision to make, what do they do?
They might use visualization, right? To see the outcomes, sense how different choices would feel.
Like a sixth sense for business.
Yeah, no more bad investments, products that nobody wants.
I can see the appeal for sure.
And they go even further, saying trained people could use clairvoyance
Wait, like seeing the future.
to find natural resources, like revolutionizing mining, energy exploration, that sort of thing.
Clairvoyance for oil. That's a big claim. But let's move on. What about healthcare? How do they see Silva changing that? They talk about doctors using intuition, even psychic abilities, for diagnosis and treatment.
Hold on, psychic doctor?
That's what they're saying. Imagine a doctor sensing your energy, seeing imbalances.
And like an energy scan.
Yeah, and then visualizing the healing process.
So combining regular medicine with energy healing.
Exactly. A more holistic approach, putting the patient first.
And this goes for prevention too, right? Teaching people to control their mental state.
With the alpha level.
To reduce stress-related illnesses. People taking charge of their own well-being.
Okay, I like that. But what about the big issues?
Big issues.
Yeah, like war, poverty, the climate. Can the Silva method fix those problems?
They argue that as more people develop their intuition, their psychic abilities...
We become more connected, right?
Yeah.
Part of something bigger.
Exactly. More compassion, more empathy, leading to peaceful, sustainable solutions.
So using our minds to create positive change globally.
That's the idea. But it does sound kind of idealistic, doesn't it?
It does. Can everyone really reach that level of development?
That's the million-dollar question. They admit we're still figuring out the mind's full potential.
Right, we're just getting started.
But they say even small steps matter, moving in the right direction.
Like one person meditating could spark something bigger.
It's the butterfly effect. Small change, ripple effect, big impact down the line.
So even if not everyone goes full Silva, those who do could make a difference.
That's what they're saying. It's a message of hope. We can create a better reality. Not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
It's been a wild ride, this deep dive. Whether you buy into it all or not, it definitely makes you think.
It does.
About the power of the mind and how it can shape our lives, maybe even the whole world.
It challenges us to push the boundaries, see what's possible, maybe find something amazing within ourselves.
Yeah, like maybe a brighter future isn't just a dream, but a real possibility. And the key to unlocking it
could be right here in our minds.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us. We hope you found it insightful, maybe even mind-bending.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.